So we should be live now. Brilliant. So we should have a lovely chat, guys, about both teams. But let's get into it. So we travel to Coventry on Tuesday, play Coventry City, and surprisingly, Blackburn's on top at the moment, third position, and Coventry is down in 21st, which I've got to be honest, with the season that you had last season, that did shock me. I didn't know you were that low.
Well, I knew, obviously, I knew where we were, and it's just, we were saying off air a minute ago, it's just, I can't, there's just so many words that, negative words that I can say about what we're doing at the moment. Something doesn't seem right. People have said it for the past couple of weeks, but nothing seems to be changing at the moment, and it always, it just seems like, it's at the moment it's a little bit miserable being a Coventry City fan. I must be honest. Every game just seems to be getting harder and harder. And obviously Leeds for anybody, is a hard game. Anybody can go to Leeds and lose 3-0. I'm not saying that. And a lot of people last week were saying that Leeds was a free hit. So I don't know why there's so many people that are getting in a rant over it, because according to everybody last week, it was a free hit. So we've got to look to Blackburn. Blackburn, if you look back at the history, we've got quite a good history against Blackburn.
Yeah.
So if you want, we have quite a few bogey teams, but we seem to be yours. I think you've got to go back to 2020, I think, for the last win that you guys had. You had 2 wins in that season, and then you've got to go right back to we're both in the Premier League. So we've either won or we've got a draw out of it. So I'm hoping that we can kickstart our season on Tuesday against you. But we'll have to wait and see.
That's the thing that I was going to go on to that. The last time we won was October 2020. Obviously, I think as well as a club, we've had a lot of controversial, haven't we? You know what I'm going to mention here, Ben Wilson. Obviously, I think both sides have things. I think Blackburn fans prefer second goal, but there's nothing you can do about that now because it was ages ago. But I think that kind of is why we have that. I probably say a lot of fans don't have a rivalry, more a hatred.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That moment still haunts people. Genuinely haunts people. Because obviously at that time it was quite late. Like literally, I think both of us at this point as well were going for playoffs, and then
that's right. Yeah,
and that's when obviously then we literally had not the best couple of weeks after that. But do you think there's a reason perhaps why you're just not kickstarted yet? Like you were saying before when we were speaking about like the backroom staff changes, could they have not gelled yet perhaps?
I don't think you can say that the team hasn't gelled because we showed it on the odd occasion. We showed it against Oxford what we can do, and we showed it against Spurs. What we can do. Again, like I said, it's bewildering, really, why we're putting in these performances. I don't think Robbins has lost the dressing room yet. I think the players are playing for him still, but again, like I said off air, I'm not in the camp of getting Robbins out because one, I don't know who you're going to get in, and if we didn't have Robbins at this present moment and we were going through what we're going through, who would you want to try and get you out of it? It would be Robbins. And I'll keep saying this week in, week out, but it is every game's getting harder and harder. And at some point, if we look, like I said, Leeds was apparently a free hit. Fine, that's gone. We've got Blackburn and we've got Sheffield Wednesday in our next 2. And then we go into an international break, I think we do. You know, we've got 2 games and these 2 are make or break. I think we have to treat every game now as cup finals. Because I think they're that important for Robins more than anything. Because Robins isn't Doug King's man. You know, when Doug King bought the club, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, Robins was already here and Robins was already a legacy, which he is going to be a legacy anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, Doug King, you know, wants playoffs, 5 seasons. That's why he's done the Premier League packages, because he wants Premier League within 5 years. He wants the playoffs at least 3 years in 5. If we don't make it this year, the next 2 years, the pressure's really on because they have to make the playoffs in both years, according to Doug King, with what he wants. But again, you know, the players on the pitch have to be accounted for, not just Robins. You know, yes, I know he sends the players out, but as soon as they cross that white line, they have to do their job.
100%.
And at the moment, they're not doing their job.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know, for a Rovers fans who's also been in the situation last season when we, as fans, didn't see a win in the slightest. It just wasn't. It was not coming on a horizon. And I think when you like that and go into games, you kind of get a little bit depressed, really, don't you? Because you don't know what you're walking into, thinking, are the team actually going to show up today, or is it just going to be a same thing like obviously our game yesterday? Yes, we won. I was very happy with the performance that we did against QPR. Because obviously as soon as QPR had their mindset, I thought, oh my God, here we go, another Preston game. Because sometimes we just... It's like we were saying when I played you last time at Ewood Park, obviously, with the sending off. We just can't seem sometimes... It's like natural, isn't it? Anything that's sending off, they always, what we call port the bus, isn't it? Or defend for their life because you are down a man. And we sometimes can't break that down, but we did really well, I think, against QPR. And I think every team, like, genuinely, like, Premier League is where you want to be. And I think we want to be there. And I've said to people, like, I'm hoping that come January, if we are whereabouts where we are now, anywhere between, like, say, 1 and 8, the owners are going to go, right, let's go for it. Let's not as invest in areas that we need to be. I don't think they'll do it as much as they have done it in the summer, but kind of, you know, like, find those areas where they know they need people, make competition for the players, because that's one thing I would say they've improved at this year is they've got some really good signings, they have started scoring, but they're giving competition for places, which they should have done this years ago. You know, rather than having the same people being picked, people have now got to earn for their place in that team.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And like you make the point of, you know, wearing the shirt and how much they get paid. Like it's, we could say we could start a stream about that for football, but unfortunately, it's just that, you know what I mean, with the players. But in terms of Coventry, realistically, where would you like to finish? Would it be playoffs?
At this minute in time, I'd just like to be nowhere near the relegation zone. But, you know, I have tempered my expectations because at the start of the season, you know, I genuinely thought we were maybe 1, maybe 2 players away from being automatic promotion, especially after the pre-season that we had as well. You know, we played some really good teams. We had some really good results. And going into the season, really optimistic. So top 2 for me at the start. After the Stoke game, which was the first game of the season, a 1-0 loss, and the performance was absolutely dire. You know, I was a little bit concerned, but you know, look, first game of the season, you never know what happens. It might just be, you know, rust and a little bit of nerves coming into the game of the season until we sort of settle down a little bit. But But it continued, and if I'm honest, I still think we're a top 8 club. We're not playing like a top 8 club. We're not playing like a top 10 club at the moment. And the table never lies, does it? That's what they say. The table never lies. And again, I just feel that eventually look, like I said, we've been in this place 3 seasons now in a row, and we've managed to turn it around. There's no reason why we can't do it again. But every game is getting harder. So we have to start turning it around now, Tuesday. There's no point waiting. I'm not waiting for after the international break. Tuesday has to be a different game. We have to play well, and we have to win Tuesday.
And I think I'll probably say for myself and many fans, I think probably for once, because of how your season's going, I would say we're quite confident. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I think it'll be maybe. I'd be happy with a 2-1. You know what I mean? Because you'll get at least some delight of actually scoring a goal. You know what I mean?
We're struggling to do that at the minute, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, and like you said, isn't it? With them realistic things, like it is going to get to a point, isn't it, where he's going to A, lose the dressing room, or B, it's going to be completely taken out of his hands, and your owner is going to go. And I think the problem is with the Championship, not as much a problem, but if you wait too long, that gap will just get further and further further.
That's right.
Because even though, yes, we're seven games in now, literally, like, we've done nearly 10% of the season.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so, like I said, it's just, you said it at the start. Every game you go into, you don't know what you're going to turn up. You don't know what's going to turn up. You don't know what you're going to watch. And the horrible thing is, it's especially at home. If we lose at home, the crowd starts turning, and then that affects Robbins. It affects the players, and everything just seems to be harder. And every miss kick where you'd let it go normally, every miss kick, every wrong pass, every decision that they make that isn't good is just highlighted, a lot more. And, I think we can criticise after the game, regardless of what happens. That's fine. But I think during the game, we have to make sure that we stay behind the lads right until the death, because if we don't, it's gonna turn horrible, and that's what I don't want. I don't want it to turn horrible for Mark Robbins. I don't want his tenure to peter out, to be a horrible end. But it's, like I said, something's again. I go over the same things. It's just hard. It's just hard.
100%, and I completely agree. Like, from a Blackburn fan, people obviously know about our story and obviously stuff with the owners, and obviously I'm very much involved in the club, so I can definitely say things a lot more positive in communication wise. But when things turn toxic on a pitch, it affects everything, and this is why I'm so adamant this season that if I know at one point we are going to lose, and I'm going to accept that. You know what I mean? It could be Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And if it is, we accept it. Right, we're 8 games in. We can still come back. Don't let it affect us. And obviously, like last season was hard, especially in the season. Like obviously, we literally went to Leeds of all teams, who had been unbeaten at Ellen Road, 1-0. I still can't even believe it this season that even happened.
Yeah.
So they'll definitely be after revenge after that, because they've now got some sort of rival with us because they don't like that. But like, I'm not that bothered about Leeds, if I'm being honest. But then for us then to go to England out of the blue, we'd played so awfully, go and give them a fraction of their lives, 5-1 basically, and then the following week after going to Bristol City and getting beat 5-0. Like it was it was such a weird week. Because I was so confident after the Sunderland game, thinking, and this is the whole point, isn't it? The Championship is so unpredictable.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Look, we gave, this season we've given Spurs a run for their money. Last season, in our look, the way that I view Coventry at the moment is we are a cup team at the moment, and we win 1 in 5 games, which isn't good enough. We have to stop being a cup football team and start being a championship football team, because that runs over, 46 games throughout the whole season, 48 games or whatever it is, but we have to start again, like I said, and I'll keep going over it. Tuesday night, I hate saying must win, but it is a must win. We've got to start turning it around, and we've got to start. We've got to turn it around, and it's got to start on Tuesday.
And I think as well, you do have some incredible players. Sims.
I wouldn't call him incredible at the minute.
Well, I mean, we'll say last season. I mean, he did. I'll give him his thing. He did take a little bit of time to warm up, didn't he? And then I remember saying when he started going, I'm thinking, where's he been for the earlier this season? Right. Nah. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, especially even with, you would say, with the amount of players that you have, and what I would say as a Bottom fan, do have some quality, 100%, but they're just not performing that quality. Aren't you know what I mean? Let's be realistic.
Yeah, look, on our day, like I said, we can play with the best of them. On our day, people that listen to people that listen to our X Space and our podcast and YouTube and whatever else that we do, I'm not Wright's biggest fan. I think he can work harder. I think the goals that he scored last year glossed over, shall we say, some of his performances. I don't think he works hard enough. He doesn't, especially being on that left-hand side where he wants to be. He doesn't work hard enough defensively for me. And yeah, it both, look, last season, you could understand why it took him a little bit longer. Sims came from the Premier League and he was never settled at a club. He was always on loan somewhere. Haji Wright came from the Turkish league, a different culture. Yes, he's American, but it was a different culture. The Championship's a different beast from any other league anyway, just like the Premier League is, But so you understand last year why it took them so long to get up to speed. That's fine, no issues. This year, they've got no excuses. They already know how the Championship is. They already know how much they've got to work. And at the minute, nobody on that pitch is working hard enough. Yes, you might have one person or one player playing well for one game. One game's not good enough. You've got to play week in, week out. If you want to get to the Premier League and you want to be a Premier League player, because don't do it just to get a move. Do it now for Coventry City, because our supporters are one of the best supporters in the Championship, in the world, in my eyes. We turn up each and every week, home and away. We sell out our away, allocation constantly. We sell out pretty much. There might be the odd one game that, we don't sell out the full allocation. But normally, you give us enough tickets and we will sell out. Our supporters are one of the best. And we deserve more than what we're getting for our support. We're doing everything that we can. The club, every time they put a new kit out, I know people that, a lot of people that are spending £150 to £200 on new football shirts and merchandise, and so, and we're turning up week in, week out to the games. Everton pre-season friendly, we had 17,000 there for a pre-season friendly.
Yeah.
We've had consistently, we've had, apart from, I think it was Bristol City in the Cup, I think, or Oxford in the Cup, one of the two, we've had over 25,000 there. We've record after record, pre-season, season ticket sales every season so far. We're doing everything that we can, and it's time for the players to, not just Robbins. I'm not going to put everything on Robbins because that's not fair. It's about the players that he puts out there. When they cross that line, it's their job. And that's the frustrating part. At the moment, they're not doing their job well enough.
Yeah, 100%. And you make such a valid point. People don't look, and to be honest, let's be honest, the players, from what they earn, is probably not even 1% of what majority of their fans earn in terms of wages. And they're spending that wage on away tickets, home tickets, season tickets, your merchandise, your shirts, you know what I mean? And it adds up for what your fans and even our fans must pay in terms of things for our club. You do it because you love it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like weekend, like, I hate international breaks, not because I don't dislike England, but I miss the whole club football, you know what I mean?
Oh,
that
yeah,
you enjoy
100%.
it. Like, you love just like going to your ground or going away and you're like, oh my god, it's Saturday. Like, someone especially for me who works Monday to Friday, weekends is just amazing because I literally know I've got football and such in a buzzing mood. Let's go on to like players. So, if you could choose 2 players out your current squad for Blackburn fans now who are watching, who would you say we need to watch out for?
It's difficult because, like I said, nobody's playing well. But I would probably say Ben Sheaf. On his day, he's probably our best player. And Milan, our right back or right winger or right, because he's got all the attributes to be one of the best. Again, for some reason at the moment, she's just coming back from injury, so you can probably give Sheaf a little bit of leeway, I suppose. But I don't. Like I said, it's hard for me to pick somebody out, but I would say probably Sheaf and Milan as probably our top 2 players on their day. But like I said, everybody's got to show up because at the minute nobody's showing up. And it's just like I said, it's hard. It's hard being a Cov fan at the moment.
For us, for every continent fans, I would say Ohashi. You can actually want to watch. Okay. He's come from the Japanese league, and probably, to be honest, I'd probably say he's smashed it so far. You know what I mean?
Okay,
both of them have, actually Gaye. They've obviously come from totally different leagues. Obviously, we knew it would take a bit of time for them to adjust to this league. Obviously, I'd probably say Gaye's had a little bit more hard time. Obviously, the fact that he got sent off at Burnley, that was just and some of him, it's just him learning the rules. Like, obviously, in the Belgian league where he was playing, you were able to put the cards out. You know what he did. Obviously, over here, we know that you're not allowed to do that. Like, they'll send you off for anything, really. You know what I mean? You'll know that if your player's sent off.
Yeah.
But another one who I would say could surprise, and he was so close yesterday to scoring a goal. Like, there was one moment, if you ever get to watch the highlights from yesterday, Stuart, give it a watch. There was one bit where everyone was like, how the hell did no one score that? Because it was literally like, it was on the goal line.
Oh, really?
They just wasn't.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. It was just like literally, I will send you the highlights. And then Todd Cantwell, he's come from Rangers.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I forgot you signed
that none of us expected.
Yeah.
To be honest, would have probably said it was some sort of April Fool's. And I think he has come to Rovers with a point to prove. Genuinely point to prove that just because of, how can I put this? Doing research, he's not very much liked in Rangers. I still don't really understand why, because he's done all right for them. Yeah. From speaking to other people, they say social media content, but when I've seen social media, it's fine for me. Like it's kind of like it could be different in Scotland, so I'm not very obviously familiar with football, but I just feel like, can someone not have a social life outside of football? Can they
Yeah,
not? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
He's got a point to prove where people feel like he's not going to do anything, but he was so close to scoring, nearly didn't, genuinely. And then let's go on to score predictions. Literally, realistic score predictions. Oh, I'm gonna say 2-1. I
Okay.
think Ohashi, and I think Gay is gonna score. I don't know when they're gonna score. I feel like you might go in front. I feel like if I'm gonna pick anyone to score for you, I'm probably gonna say Hadji Wright. I think in the past he scored for like he's known for doing that. Or a very unlucky Stuart, Ben Wilson in the 95th minute.
Well, that's to be fair. Ben Wilson came back into goal because he hasn't started the season because we bought a goalkeeper in Oliver Dovin, but he came in against Leeds. Now it may be a case that he starts against you guys again. Again, we don't know. We don't know the team. Because nobody's playing well enough to stay in the side, so we could change it completely again. Like I said, look. Any predictions that I do, I'll never back us to lose. The worst I will ever do is a draw. But we have to start winning games. Draws aren't good enough now, even at this stage. Draws aren't good enough. So I'm going to say our luck's got to start turning at some point, and we've got to start turning up at some point. So I'm going to go for a gritty 1-0 win.
Yeah, I could also see that happening because I will say to anyone till their cow's coming out that Coventry for a team are one that will not kind of like sit back, that you'll go for it. So similar if QPR went for it. Yesterday, obviously, what didn't help with them was the sending off, but I don't know, at the moment with Blackburn, it just seems like every damn match someone's getting sent off, whether it's our side or their side. So hopefully no sending off, because I think I'm definitely missing, and I would have loved to Owen Beck to come on because he's from Liverpool and Loney.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were linked with him as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? So let's hope that one of our team wins. I'm hoping for Blackburn, you're hoping for Coventry. Because let's be honest, Stuart, you need that win, don't you? Just to
definitely,
yourself.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. We need that win. You know, and it's got to come. It's got to come sooner or later.
Definitely. But thank you guys, everyone, for watching. It's been lovely, and I will be back soon, hopefully, with a Rovers win. See you soon.
Thanks.